Today, November 3rd, 1903, Panama officially declared independence from Colombia and is now a territory under our nation. In response to this, our broadcast today will be about imperialism.
Imperialism is when a nation or country takes control of another nation or territory for their own gain. Imperialism has been around for a long time. However, these days, some people think that imperialism does more harm than good.
In 1889, when we defeated the Spanish in the Spanish-American Civil War, we gained the territories of Puerto Rico and the Philippines as a prize. In 1893, a revolt in the Hawaiian Islands allowed us to gain control from their queen. Currently, in the Panama Territory in Central America, the Panama Canal is being constructed in order for a quick and effective trade route across the Americas.
The public opinion in America is that the people on these islands now benefit from our protection. But is this really true? Let's look at some of these views now.
Today we have with us two people who believe imperialism is good.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. How do you do?
Excellent, thank you. Now, you are on our channel today. Tell us your opinions on the goods of imperialism.
I think that imperialism is quite possibly the greatest thing that has ever happened to the great British Empire.
Why is that?
We need not wish any longer for resources or land to develop. Our empire stretches from the Horn of Africa to the land in the Pacific. If and when the next great war erupts in Europe or elsewhere, it will be our men and women from the overseas colonies that will fight for us and fuel our war effort. As long as our land overseas remains under our control, Britain will be unstoppable.
And what about the issue of human rights, of the people who were there before?
To be frank, I do not care. As long as I get everything I need for my businesses, then it matters not how someone across the world is doing.
Oh dear. Welcome our next guest who also likes imperialism. Hello, Curtis.
It's Mr. Curtis to you.
Okay. We have some questions.
I'm okay with that.
First, what do you think about the problem that faced the locals of the place you took over? Per se, Puerto Rico?
I was around back then. I was there when Spain gave us Puerto Rico in the Spanish War. The natives did not like us too much at the beginning, but that's not too bad.
Okay, next question. What do you think about the nations draining places, their resources for their own gain?
I think if we got the land, then we should be able to do what we see fit after we have acquired the land.
But what if there are people living there?
Too bad.
That's not very nice. Last question. How would you feel if someone took your land from you?
I would not be too happy, I suppose.
That's all. Thank you. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hello, welcome to my shop. We are the city's largest supplier of used bandages. They have many such uses as jokes to prank your friend, or to use to cover old wounds, and even to use as stickers. And don't forget, we have all sizes, little and small. That's all for now. Bye.
For our look at anti-imperialism, I've invited two guests. Here today we have Sergeant Jerry and Miss Corder. Sergeant Jerry is a retired sergeant who now lives in Puerto Rico and will help us have a better understanding of how the locals feel. Now we should start with questions. Miss Corder, how do you feel about imperialism as a whole?
I believe that imperialism is truly one-sided. People who aren't being taken over get many things out of it, but the people who are on the other end of the spectrum don't get anything. In fact, they get less than nothing.
Very well thought out answer. Sergeant Jerry, how do you feel about this question?
Well, I've asked most of the people here how they feel, and most of them don't like it, but there's still a majority, a good portion of the population that are okay with it, and I don't care for change.
Thank you. Now, Our last question of the day to wrap things up. How do you both feel about nations taking land and draining it of its resources?
Like taking resources and responsibility and not hurting people who live there is better than getting people to move their homes to other places, in my humble opinion.
I would agree with that one. If those people take the land and harm the people around them, it's not right. But if they are safe, it's better. It is still not the best thing to be doing.
Thank you very much again for coming on the show and giving us your opinion on the subject of imperialism.
Well, we have certainly looked at many different views on imperialism, and now comes a big question. Where do we go from here? America now has a strong foothold in not only the Caribbean and Central America, but also in the Pacific. As we know, many think the next Great War is brewing, and these islands will be very, very useful as forward bases for our troops in case of conflict. But what is not often thought of is how the people themselves are affected. I have seen firsthand the deplorable conditions in Puerto Rico. And is this really what we want America to be thought of as? These are the questions I leave you with tonight, and good night.